What is up, guys? Kempo back here. Coming off this beautiful weekend, heat wave down at Perth. It's been bloody hot as hell, and going through birthdays and Christmas time. But I watched the Tyson Fury Usyk 2 fight. Absolutely, as a boxing purist fan, it lived up exactly what it lived up, exactly what the hype was. So I'm a little bit tired, but nevertheless, it wasn't as exciting as it was the first fight with the round nine near knockout, big shots like that. No, it was more of a chess match. And watching boxing, it was just absolutely incredible. It was the adjustments each one made and adjustments they made in the fight, the back and forth swing with the first 5 rounds. It was absolutely awesome to watch. I actually jotted down quite a lot of notes. I actually scored the fight as I went along. Keeping in mind, a lot of these rounds were a lot of swing rounds, so they could have been either guy. But I did actually have Usyk 8 rounds to Fury 4. But like I said, a few of those rounds could have been swung either way. It's just, I wrote down why I scored it that way as well. But I didn't want to write all that down. I just wanted to quickly do a quick overview about the fight, my reaction. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely amazing. Coming into this fight, Fury was just composed. He was like, I'm going to hurt this guy. Enough said, no more said. And then there was that big face off for 8 minutes and the Fury went off at him. And it's absolutely incredible to build up the fight. The first 5 rounds where I had it back and forth. I think I had Fury win the first, Usyk second, third Fury, fourth Usyk, fifth Fury, and then after that point, I feel like that's when the adjustments for Usyk came a lot better, and I think that's when Usyk started racking up rounds, in my opinion. I think he landed the cleaner shots. Fury did land some good shots as well. That's why it was a bit hard. But I just think Usyk's activity did stifle Fury's aggression. And the body shots, Usyk did land a lot of body shots. And then when he did adjust to the head, you can see it was cleaner. You can see from Fury, he was more aggressive this time. And he had his hands up and he was more defensively sound. But I felt like Usyk was just a little more defensively sound, a bit more aggressive. Like, everything Fury did right, I think Usyk did right a little better. Like, it was so interesting to see. Fury would come in with a hard cut shot or two, but Usyk would come back with his own combinations every time. So that's why those rounds were a bit hard to score. But I did find interesting one thing I did notice, the first 5 rounds, they were battling for that center of the ring immediately. And that's why Fury probably won the first round, because he got that center of the ring. He didn't let Usyk push him back. And every round he did is when Usyk did his good work. And one adjustment I saw Usyk made was, around later rounds, was to take that center of ring. Usyk immediately at the start of each round would throw a cross or throw a combination to push Fury back. Brilliant tactician move for a guy who is a lot smaller, like 7 inches or something stupid like that, smaller reach, or was it 7 inches, whatever, smaller than him. And the weight advantage for Fury is, well, oh my gosh, whether or not he was wearing all those clothes to add on the extra weight, that's regardless. He weighed in at 281 pounds when Usyk weighed in at 222 pounds. For us guys living in Australia, that's 126 kilos to 101 kilos. And for those who don't understand how absolutely baffling that is, in boxing, you might have a couple of kilos weight differences in each weight class. So people that jump all these weights are only going up by a few kilos, really. Usyk is fighting someone that shouldn't be even in the same realm as him. It shouldn't even be close to the same weight class. If it was these lower class, it's like a flyweight versus a bloody super middleweight. Like, it's absolutely insane what's going on with that fight. Like, Terence Crawford wants to fight Canelo, and they complain that's a massive weight jump. Usyk's done that tenfold. He's shat on that. Absolutely shat on that. What else have I written down here? Unfortunately, the second half of the fight, I only gave Fury 1 round. There was a couple of rounds where they could have swung it either way, but I think the judges got it right. And I was very surprised as well, because the way they were leading into this fight with Turkey and all the others, they wanted that trilogy fight bad. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, they've got to probably do Usyk dirty here, because Usyk deserves to win this fight, in my opinion. But no, all the judges and the experimental AI judge, it scored it the same way I did. Maybe not the same rounds, but they scored it the same way as I did. And that really made me happy. It was really good to see that Usyk didn't get gypped of it, because he deserves to win that fight. And it was absolutely good to see, and I was so happy for him. Annoying with Daniel Dubois taking the mic, and like before Usyk could even talk about his country, giving the mic to Frank Warren was probably not the smartest idea. You know what he's going to say. He's biased for Fury. And that's another talk I'll get on to in a minute about the bias. And look, Frank Warren's going to pump his boy up as his promoter. Yeah, so the cards themselves, they might have looked like a Usyk huge win, but the fight, if you watch it back, was very close. But I do think the right man won. And okay, I might as well get into the commentators and the bias and this whole lead up. Everything that was posted online was Fury's gonna make the adjustments. Fury's gonna win. Fury's this. Fury's that. And not many people I saw online actually went for Usyk, besides the ones that were not biased. And it's so crazy to see. Like the official face-off interviews and that were all, and in the roundtable talks that were put on by like DAZN and TNT and those guys, and they always bring on like Steve Bunce, Frank Warren, all these guys who are clearly Tyson Fury lovers. And it's annoying watching those guys, because the people who don't understand boxing and want to watch the greatest fight of this era, they're calling it, and they're watching these face-offs and these interviews of these guys who are clearly biased. And at least Frank Warren admits it, but the other guys don't. They don't admit it, but yet they're sucking Tyson's dick so fucking hard. Sorry, excuse. It's absolutely ridiculous how biased they were, and it paints a picture for these people that haven't watched him much. They get influenced by what these people say, like, oh, they must be telling the truth. They're just biased, dude. That's why, like, you got. It's absolutely insane. So the people who were biased were picking Usyk, or if they did pick Fury, they told exactly why. And when the scorecards came out, they said, actually, fair enough, Usyk did win the fight. But people like Steve Bunce and that. Oh, okay, I'm gonna go about Steve Bunce for a bit here, because a stream I watched, I think it was a TNT one. It wasn't the DAZN one, because I watched the DAZN highlights later. They seemed like good commentators. But the Steve Bunce one with the TNT, oh my god, I was surprised Tyson didn't come in the ring, because he was getting his dick sucked so hard in those commentating by Steve Bunce. The whole time is, oh, I think Fury's dominated this and dominated that. Oh, Usyk needs some bit of urgency now. Like every round, he was saying stuff like that, and I'm just like, what are you watching, dude? Like, you clearly just want that interview with Tyson and goggle his balls. Like, oh, it was absolutely crazy to see that. And I get Frank Warren as well. He has to be biased to his fighter. That's fair enough. Like, it is what it is. Not really the smartest idea giving the mic to him, but you know, at the end of the day, it's all right. But all those people who were picking Tyson, biased towards Tyson, saying he won this and he won that, were exposed by these judges, man. Because these judges, you can't say it was a rigged fight, because everyone knew they wanted the Tyson Fury Usyk trilogy. And these judges, all three of them scored it the same, but in different rounds. An AI judge who is non-biased also scored it the same. So it wasn't a robbery, it was scored right. So, and I don't want to take that away from how good this fight was, because this fight was really good. And then when it comes to after that, what do you talk about here for Fury? I think it's a perfect time to make the AJ Fury fight. Who is the best of the British era? This modern day British era. Perfect time, money maker right there. And then if Fury wants to continue fighting after that, fair enough. But that's the fight to make next. I understand how he'd be angry. He didn't get the win, but yeah, he did. I honestly, think they just got it right, and I think a lot of people would feel the same. Usyk, wow. This guy, he cements himself as the greatest heavyweight of this era already with the last fight. I think now is the conversation, where does he stand in the Hall of Fame? Because this man, just 25 kilos, every weight advantage that Fury had, beat him twice. This guy unified. He's a modern day Evander Holyfield, except I think he did more. I know, putting it out there. Recency bias, probably. He unified the cruiserweight belts, won the tournament, beat everyone in his way, and a lot of good fighters. Tony Bellew as well in there, moving up to heavyweight, beating Derek Chisora, and beat someone else, and then he beat AJ twice, who was the champion with those belts, beat him twice easily, and then Fury beating him twice convincingly, with all a 25 kilo weight disadvantage, shorter height, shorter reach, everything against all these guys. He was a bigger man in the cruiserweights, and then he was a smaller man in the heavyweights. And this man still wants to fight Damon Dubois. He doesn't have anything left to prove. This guy is up there in the Hall of Fame, next to the greats like Riddick Bowe, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, all those great fighters, Lennox Lewis. I think he sits somewhere up there, and I think you can't say exactly where he would be now in the greatest of all time, but I think with a bit of research and a bit of proper sit-down time, because I want to say he's up there in that top 5. That's why I want to say. And you got to say not just heavyweights. He's going to be one of the best boxers of this generation, easily. Jumping up weight classes and all that. And undefeated, beating who he's beaten. But this is recency bias. But I have this great inkling that we are seeing someone who is genuinely one of the greatest of all time. And that is amazing to see. And he's such a class act. After, in his press conference, he was talking about his wife and his kids, showing Fury so much respect. And he's cracking jokes, and he's just saying how he likes to keep fighting. And he's just such a good dude. So I think I would like to make a video at some point figuring out where he sits in the Hall of Fame, in my eyes, and the greatest of all time talk. But Alexander Usyk, absolutely amazing. I love watching his fights. I've watched half his cruiserweight professional fights now. Olympic gold medalist, over 300 amateur fights with a handful of losses that he redeemed. Undefeated, 20-something and 0. Unified cruiserweight champion, unified boxing heavyweight champion. This guy is absolutely incredible, and he deserves all his flowers. Absolutely amazing fight. I loved it. I'm very happy and fulfilled right now with boxing. Thank you, Turkey L Shake. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you. I'll see you in the next one.